Shalom, shalom. Want to say our praises be to Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the sincere brethren, Akim out there across the four winds, the four corners of the globe, pushing the truth, the good news of Yahweh Shai, proclaiming salvation to the elect of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and proclaiming the downfall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and his wicked empire. And this video is going to be entitled Defiled Bread. Our bread is defiled. Here in America, and really wherever you is across the globe, for the most part, but especially here in Babylon, the Great America, the food that we eat is heavily defiled, man. You understand? Which is all really according to our biblical prophecies. And is defiled and polluted in more ways than one. You understand? So this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles. And defiled bread, the bread refers to what? Food. And like I was saying, our food is defiled in many different ways, man. First of all, how take for example the meat that we eat. We don't know what Esau is feeding the meat, feeding the animals. They feed them all type of different feedings that really ought not to be. They're pumping them with all type of steroids, the beef, the chicken, you know what I mean, the turkey, all of the different lawful meats that we are allowed to eat. Esau pumped them animals with all type of steroids, feeding them all type of feedings that they don't naturally eat, messing them up, defiling them. And then again, these different animals, they be dying of themselves, and you damn sure Esau is going to still sell it. These different farms and supermarkets, the whole supply chain of food, they include sick animals that die of themselves, so on and so forth. Things that the laws, statutes, and commandments tell us not to eat. You understand? So just from that aspect of how the food is raised, the animals, and same thing with the vegetables, the fruits, sprayed with all type of pesticides. You understand? GMO vegetables, GMO fruits, so on and so forth. So that's defiled in and of itself. And then when we eat in the food, you go to these different restaurants or food places, they also serving abominable foods there too, man. You understand? You go to a restaurant, you go to a food place, and they serving pork, they serving these different shrimp, crab, all type of madness that we ought not to eat. So therefore, what? Cross-contamination is happening, man. You understand? And it's like, it ain't nothing you could do about it. You understand? The only way is to cook everything at home, but even that, 9 times out of 10 ain't always reasonable. You understand? So this is the condition that we're in, that the food that we eat is all messed up in more ways than one. So this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. And this goes back to the book of Deuteronomy, where for one of all things, we have to go to the heathen. And even if you say you're going to a Jake restaurant, you're going to a Dominican restaurant, you're going to a Jamaican restaurant, where do they source their food from? The heathens, man. The so-called white man, the Chinese, the East Indians, so on and so forth. And even in those restaurants, they're serving abominable foods there. So your food subject to get cross-contaminated by their abominable foods that these simple-minded Jakes is selling, man. You know what I mean? You know, these Dominicans love their, what they call it, pernil, the pork. You understand? Same thing with you are West Indians, you Jamaicans. So all of these restaurants are defiled that we eating from, man. And thinking about it, you meditating on this, like, damn, man, fuck. That in and of itself makes you want to get out of here, because the food that you're eating, you do research on it, you analyze it, you like, yo, even if you buy the food, cook it at home, you don't know what Esau putting in the different food products that you're buying. He put in pork and all type of different things that you wouldn't even know. You understand? So you can't escape the defilement of the food here in Babylon the Great, especially. And I'm sure it's the same way in many different parts of the world, but this is especially exemplified here in Babylon the Great, the defilement of the food. And why does Esau want to do that? Because he wants the food to be unclean, man. Because that's another accusation against us before Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Look, your people eating pork, your people eating this, but you putting it in the food, and we eating it unknowingly, man. A lot of jakes who we not going to buy pork. We buying chicken, we buying turkey, but you fucking putting that poison in it, man. Those unclean foods in it. But that's to show you he's a devil, man. This is the book of Deuteronomy. So I can find the exact precept where the scripture say, for the want of all things. Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. And who is our enemies? Chiefly Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But the rest of the heathens, the Chinese, the Japanese, you know what I mean? So on and so forth. The Arabs. Even you go to these Arab spots, man. They serve them demons. A lot of their spots serve pork, man. You understand? So you think you go into the Arab spot, think everything is good, but they serving pork up in there, man. They also serving all type of unlawful seafood, man. So it's like this place is hell left, right, and center, man. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst. Can't hunger, man. So if you want to eat, you subject to getting your food supply from the heathen one way or another. And in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Can't, in want of all things. And what is the main thing that you need in order to survive? Food. You understand? And the saying, you are what you eat, that's a real saying. So that's why Esau pollutes the food, man. Because by polluting the food, in many ways more than one, he messing Jacob, clogging up your pineal gland, which allows you to receive spiritual, basically allows you to be more spiritual. You understand? Making you out of shape, unhealthy. You're out of shape, you're unhealthy. You're prone to chronic diseases, diabetes, gout, heart disease. You're prone to death, basically. Because the saying, you are what you eat, is 100% facts. So by Esau feeding us poison, he poisoning us, man. But guess what? Through the power of the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, what does the scripture say? Get that real quick. Because we are eating poison. But what does scripture say about that? Mark chapter 16. Because the Lord know he's hopefully like we can't escape the defilement of our food here in Babylon. Because it's prophecy. So here's what the Lord said. Mark chapter 16, verse 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. But the point I wanted to get, they shall drink, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And all the food and the drinks, the beverages that we eat and drink and consume here in Babylon, it is poison, it's deadly. For the most part, 9 times out of 10. Because even if you try to eat healthy, so to speak, it's still all messed up. But the Lord is preserving us, man. The Lord is preserving us. And that's why we're not as jacked up as Jakes in the world. Because ultimately we do keep the dietary laws to the best of our abilities. So any defilement that comes with the lawful foods that we eat, hey, the Lord is gonna, what would I say? We good, man. Because we don't know. We don't know, and that's the position that we in. Like the scriptures say, we shall eat our bread defiled on our Gentiles. That's where grace and mercy comes in. Because you're eating something, you don't know what the hell Esau put in it. Or you buy something from a restaurant, you don't know what the hell they're doing in the kitchen. You know what I mean? They have all type of defiled food back there. And you order something lawful. And there's all type of cross-contamination. Hey, it's fucked up, man. And it's vexing. But that's the condition that we're in. That's why we need Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's why we need grace. That's why we need the deliverance of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because everything here is all messed up. And this video is focusing on the food. But that's just one aspect. But it is a key aspect. But that's just one aspect of our messed up things here in Babylon is. Let's go Isaiah. Book of Isaiah. So okay, Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So like I was saying, the whole supply chain coming from the earth that your fruits and vegetables is grown in, the feed that the animals are eating is defiled, man. The whole earth is defiled and polluted, thanks to who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So if the earth is defiled, what you eating comes from the earth, it comes from the earth because the animals they eat the grass, so on and so forth, which is of the earth. The fruits and vegetables they come from the earth. So if you eating that, you the shit that you eating is defiled. The food that you eating is defiled. And I say shit, but hey, really it is shit, man. You understand? That's why we just try to eat the best of the worst. But even in that is defiled. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. And that's what Esau did. He messed up and, like the scripture say, turn everything upside down. Turn everything upside down. That's why must needs for this man to be taken out of power, man. Must needs, because Esau knows, man, that he shouldn't be allowing these different unclean foods to be sold here in Babylon. He knows that he shouldn't be feeding the animals and growing the vegetables and fruits a certain way, or pumping them with certain pesticides, so on and so forth. But what? He refuses to take heed, because what? He's the devil. He's the wicked. And he wants to poison the people. He wants to especially poison Jake. But guess what? The remnant, the elect, like the scripture said, we shall eat poison and live. So we're going to be good no matter what. The elect is going to be preserved no matter what. No matter what poison or what abominations that you put in our lawful foods, the elect is going to be preserved through the grace and mercies of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is the book of we get Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So ultimately it's our fault that we in this condition that we're in, that we're under the subjection of Esau, Edom. But ultimately the Lord is going to save that elect remnant. You understand? He's going to save a elect remnant of his so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is the 1/3 and 144,000 here in Babylon the Great America. Because the time of our captivity has an end. The time of us being under this defiled rulership of Esau, Edom, had an end, man. We want to be 100% righteous. We want to be eating 100% lawful food without any defilement, man. We want that, man. At least the hope for the elect. We want that. Are we going to get that when Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, when Yahweh returns, man, when Yahweh crack them clouds and take Esau out of power? That's when we're going to live. That's when we're going to eat real food, man. That's when we're going to have real women, so on and so forth, once Yahweh come back and set everything back in its rightful order. Until then, brothers and sisters, we just gotta eat the best of the worst, basically. And understand, hey, through the grace and mercies of Yahweh Shai, we gonna be good, man. Hey, so with that, I want to say all praises be to Abanawa Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Harakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of great millstone who rule well. Shalom.